What's that sound all about? I can hear myself down there. I got this new wireless tool for my monitor, so it's close because my eyes aren't what they used to be. That's better. So I'm back again, but this time to talk to you about my journey in magic. Like most magicians, my journey started at a very young age. And again, like most magicians, was fueled by a Paul Daniels magic set. So I started playing, trying to work out what all the bits did, and I kind of got hooked. I was also very fortunate enough to have been taken to the Hamleys Toy Store in London by my mum. Hamleys had and still have a Marvin's Magic section with magicians, or rather salesmen, demonstrating the tricks that you could buy from them. And this is where I experienced my first in-person magic trick. The magic trick he showed me was called the dynamic coins. It was a trick that used two empty caps, just like these. He proceeded to show me that both caps were indeed empty and I could see straight through his ring. He then proceeded to turn over the caps one by one, and on turning over the second cap, he asked me to snap my fingers, which I did, very enthusiastically, I might add. At which point, he unveiled and showed me that a pile of 10p pieces had appeared under the first cap. What was this witchcraft? I was 8 years old. This was amazing. He said, but wait, I'm not done. He moved the other cap over and explained to me that the 10p pieces were like magic. He placed them on top of the brass cap, and then replaced the other cap. And then with a little rub, he had shown me that the 10p's had in fact melted straight through the cap below. That was it. I was sold. Take my money. I needed this trick in my life. But he had one more trick up his sleeves. He took my hand and placed the stack of 10p's in my hand ever so gently. He placed the cap over the 10p's and told me to squeeze my hand as tight as possible, which I did. There was no way these 10p's were leaving my hand. I squeezed so tight, my hand got numb and my fingers were white. But at that point, he said, too late, young man. The hand is quicker than the eye. The trick has already been done. Because when I opened my hand, the 10p's had disappeared from my hand and had appeared again under the cap below. I needed this trick in my life. It was that simple. But this trick back then was very expensive. This was, if I remember correctly, about £30. I had been saving a very, very long time for this trip. So, with a little bit of persuasion, he threw in a card trick, at a discount of course. I ended up buying the dynamic coins, and that was my first pro magic trick. And again, as if by magic, he took my money and it vanished. From this point on, I was hooked, and I read every single book on magic that I could find in my local library, and I watched every Saturday night special, which included a magic act. Remember, there was no internet in those days, no YouTube. Just imagine it, just stop for a second and imagine a life without YouTube.
Hello darkness, my old friend.
I vividly remember watching the Paul Daniels magic show each and every week, and often with my granddad, and us both being amazed at his close-up magic and illusions. And I then started to see TV specials from a guy in the States performing even bigger or grander illusions. You may have heard of him. David Copperfield, ring any bells? He was flying around the stage with his supermodel girlfriend, making the Statue of Liberty just disappear in front of a live audience, and walking, yes, walking straight through the Great Wall of China. This illusion captivated me more than most. Now, I'm not sure I'm allowed to for YouTube copyright reasons, but I'm gonna do it anyway. You really, really need to watch this illusion.
The Great Wall of China, 3,000 miles long. The only man-made object visible from the moon. Built to keep armies from getting through. Well, I was determined to walk through it. This remote control camera will never cut away. It'll start on one side of the wall, see me enter the wall, and without cutting away, the camera will travel over the wall and hopefully see me emerge from the other side. Walking through the Great Wall of China. They even monitored my heart.
So after seeing this, I needed to do it. I needed to do that. Okay, not on that level or scale, obviously, but how could I do it? Eventually, I came up with this, a card with a hole in it. My version of walking through the Great Wall of China. I could take my finger and pass it through the hole to show people that I was in fact walking through the Great Wall of China. But there needed to be an illusion aspect to it. So was I even walking through the Great Wall of China? Was there even a hole, or was it purely just an illusion? And in fact, there was no hole. This escalated onto a full deck of cards. What could I do with a full deck, and how would I do it? It would need to look as if the knife were passing through the entire deck of cards, as if seamlessly cutting through butter. But then I would need to show that that was impossible. There was no way a knife could pass through a deck of cards because there were never any cards there. Actually, all there was a solid block of steel. But I could never work that one out, so I just ended up doing a trick with some sponge balls. After my early teens, I didn't really do much magic. In fact, I didn't really do any, and that was only because I lost interest due to the lack of resources that were available to me at the time. And my age. Things like girls seemed a lot more important. I only again picked up magic much later on in my life. I think it was my late 20s to be exact, when I was invited to an open evening at a local magic club. This then led on to my fire being reunited. Come on baby, light my fire. And of course, a ton of purchases and learning ensued until I felt comfortable and ready to audition at said club to become a fully fledged member. Now, in order to do this, I needed to create my own routine and then perform it in front of the other members, in front of magicians who knew exactly what I would be doing. What was the point in that? Well, the point wasn't to check my skill level and to see whether I could fool them. It was purely to test my commitment to magic, as the club had seen a ton of people who had approached them to try and join just to learn a trick to show their mates down the pub. The audition is what separated us from them, the muggles. I would continue to visit the club each and every week and attend an annual trip to Blackpool for the Blackpool Magic Convention, and this was one of the largest in the entire world. I went with a bunch of guys from the clubs and it was a right laugh, and I continued going right up to when my daughter Olivia was born. Unfortunately, life as a business owner, father and husband kind of got the better of me, shall we say, and all my magic was packed up and hidden away in the top of a cupboard somewhere. That is, until lockdown struck and a little bit of boredom crept in. Out came all the magic boxes and my passion was slightly reignited. Not ignited enough that I went out and bought a ton of stuff, but I have been reading more, watching a few videos, and I'm excited to see where it goes. So that just leaves me to say, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget, a like would be great, a subscribe would be even better. It does help me out. Let me know in the comments box below any other comments, questions or feedback, and I'll do my best to get back to you. And as I always say, until the next video, goodbye internet.
Throw this shade on me, like they all hate on me. Don't bring that rain.